Hello and welcome to Katrinas Creations. This is the Friday edition and we are going to be learning what this little mystery device is. Before we get started, I am wearing the sweater I modeled on Saturday. This is a free pattern from Lion Brand. I did add the ribbing, it didn't have that, but it is basically a raglan sweater. You can make it long sleeve or short sleeve. Theirs was short sleeved. So anyway, that's what I'm wearing. Now, as to this little device, which when you turn this little knob, if I can do this so you can see it, these little spikes pop out. And no, it is not a ninja star thing that you fling. One of the suggestions in here that they thought it might be, jokingly they said, a crochet torture device, which totally made me crack up laughing because yeah, it very well could be. There was only one person who actually got this right, and that was Fran Derrick. This is actually a daisy maker. So what you do, you extend the little prongs like that, and you loop around your petals like you can see here. And then when you're finished, you weave the yellow together to hold the petals in place, and then to get it off of the loom, you retract the little spikes and it comes right off. So I am going to demonstrate this. This went by several different names. One of them was a Daisy Loom, one was a Daisy Wheel, I think. There was like a whole bunch of different companies made them with different names attached. This one has no name on it, like brand or anything like this. I don't know if it was my mother's or my grandmother's. It dates to around the 1960s from what I could tell. Now the funny thing is though, is in the 70s my mother made a daisy afghan with these, but hers were you know, like much bigger. And the loom I remember her using was actually like a circular blue plastic one with spikes, and you know, did all the weaving around, and then it had a hole in the center and you went up and down and then you just pulled it right off, which would be a lot easier than this, but it also made for a bigger daisy. Now while you could use this with knit, in fact it would look really kind of cute. Now that I think of it, it would look really kind of cute if I did a couple of them. A couple of them and attach them to this sweater. But the reason I said crocheting is because a lot of times, like I said with the daisy afghans, you would actually chain stitch around the outside of these. In the case of my mother, she chain stitched it with like a green, and then you would add more daisies to it. So you had row after row after row of daisies, and they were all held together with a chain stitch. So that's why I say it's more primarily a crochet item, although this would look good. So yeah, I am going to turn the camera around now and we're going to do a tutorial on how to do and use the little daisy wheel or whatever you want to call it. They are still, you can still find them over on eBay. I did check and they are still around. They're the vintage ones. I don't think any new ones are made. I think the newer ones are like the one my mom made in the 70s, which was with the plastic, which in all honesty I think would be easier than working with this because they have a hole in the center to go up and down with the weaving, where this one doesn't, it's solid. So let me get the camera turned around and I will do a tutorial on how to use this. So what you're going to need for this, aside from the wheel itself, here's what the completed daisy looks like. This is my first attempt, so it's not as good as it could have been. I guess it'll get better as I go. You will need some yarn for whatever color you are doing the petals. You could make these into Gerber daisies where you did them in shades of pinks and darker pinks. So you could also make black-eyed Susans where you could do yellow in the petals and black for the center part. You could do a lot of different things with this. You could actually even make several and then stack them on top of each other as well if you wanted to make a fuller flower. So the first thing we're going to do is extend the spikes, and then this is not the working side. The working side is this side, which is why I say the plastic ones are easier because they are hollow in the center, so it makes it a little easier to sew the middle together. But you're going to begin with what you're going to do your petals with, and you're going to think of this like a clock, like the 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock. So you are going to hold the end here at the 6 o'clock, go up to the 12 o'clock, and wind it. And then you're going to go down to the 6 and do it. You're going to then move to the 11 and go down to the 5 and go over to what would be the 10 and go across to the 4, and so on until you have gone all the way around. Like this. Now they had me doing the instructions that I watched. You could actually begin doing this center portion right here at this point, but I wanted my daisy a little fuller, as you can see the difference. So I wrapped it a second time. So I went and just repeated the same thing a second time all the way around. So there we go. So then I'm going to cut the yarn on my petal, and I might just give it a little extra length. Then you're going to take your center portion and a darning needle, and you're going to go from the top here, again, like say this is your 12, you're going to go between the 12 and the 1 o'clock, and you're going to go down between what would be the 6 and the 7 o'clock. And then you're going to leave an end, because this is going to be what you're going to have to tie it with. So you're then going to, where you've come up, you're going to count 4 stitches or 4 petals over. So if we're looking at this, here's petal 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're going to go in between and come back up again. So you're going to go in between, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to go in between the 4 and the 5, and then you're going to come up at the next. So you can see that's where we came up. We're going to go back in here. And this time you're going to pull it tight. There you go. And here's where you've come up. You're going to count 4 petals. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is that loose one. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to go between the 4 and the 5, and you're going to come up right next to the last one that you came up through. And you're going to pull it tight each time. And here's where we've come up, and again we're going to count 4 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go in between the 4 and the 5, and we're going to come up. This is where we came up last time. We're going to come up here. So you're skipping 4, and then you're going back over 3. So here's where we came up. You're going to count 4 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is that tail end here. So we'll do that again. Here's where we came up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. You go between the 4 and the 5, and you're then going to go to the one beside where you came up. So you're going back 3. And you're going to do this all the way around. I guess if you wanted a fuller center, you could do it even more. But here's where we came up. You're going to count the 4 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go between the 4 and the 5, and then you're going to go under 3. So you go over 4, under 3. And you're going to do this until you have gone completely all the way around. And you just want to make sure you keep it tight each time. So again, here we go. Here's where we came up. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going in between the 4 and the 5. We're going to be coming up where the tail came out of last time. Here we've come up again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go between the 4 and the 5. And come up, you're going under 3. So if you want to pause the video until I've done these last few, then we'll come back and I'll show you how to finish it off. I'm now getting ready to do my last run because this is the only petal right here that doesn't have something through it. So I'm going to go one more time. You do have to watch because these little spiky things do grab your yarn. So there you go. You can see I've gone all the way around. I'm going to cut my yarn. And then I'm going to tie this together. I'm just going to tie it loosely because this is actually the top side, so I just am tying this so that I don't lose everything when I undo the petals. We now retract this so that the spikes go in, and then your daisy comes off. And like you can see this, I guess you could use it as you can see where it's actually grabbed some of my yarn, so I have to trim that up a little bit here. There, I trimmed the excess that I had from the white petals from where I began it. This could be your top. I would tend to use this as my top, and then just weave these down to the underside. Whichever side ends up looking better, that can be your top. But there you go, and you can see where I've got a snag right here where it does tend to catch your yarn. So if you do use one of these, you want to be real careful because these little spiky things do catch in there, and that is what happened right here. There we go. Nobody will ever know. So that is how you make one of these little daisies. And you can see this one I did weave in. So this one just would get woven, and you kind of give it a little fluff, and you're good to go. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, learning about a mystery vintage item. This is our mystery vintage item for next week. Most of you in the comments did know what this was, but there will be a tutorial on this next week. So make sure you stay tuned next Friday to figure out what this is and what to do with it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.